Hi everyone, I'm Chelsea DeGrande. I'm going to be showing you my poster today. If you can't see everything right now, I'm going to zoom in on it as I go along. So anyways, my name is Chelsea. My project is called Eco Engagement, Discovering Effective Social Media Strategies for Environmental NGOs. I worked with the Seattle Subway Foundation, and my site supervisor was Carl Pauls. And then my faculty advisor for this project was Erin Gilbert from the Department of English at UW. So basically some background on my project is that transportation accounts for approximately 60% of Seattle's overall greenhouse gas emissions. So it's obviously a big issue to focus on, not just overall in the US, but in the entirety of the city of Seattle. And so one of Seattle's main forms of public transportation, its most efficient form is the Link Light Rail, but it's very limited in coverage. Only recently they extended east of Lake Washington, but for a long time it's just been the one line which just runs from north to south. So it really limits access for a lot of different neighborhoods in Seattle that don't just fall along I-5. So you can see that in figure one. This is the Seattle subway's link light rail vision map. So here you can see there's some existing stations on here and also some planned ones that have like the planned or anticipated years that they will be opening. And the ones that are kind of blurred out are ones that Seattle Subway hopes that Seattle will expand to. But yeah, some of the existing stations, as you can see, it just runs north to south. I had to cut out a little bit at the bottom for space purposes, but yeah, it just runs north to south, and then there's also this two line that is recent or soon to be going to connect to Seattle. So clearly, there's not enough access to all neighborhoods. Um, and so basically expanding the link light rail and kind of achieving these goals and what's shown on the vision map requires a lot of public engagement, and social media is a very effective tool for raising awareness. However, a strategic approach to content creation is essential for meaningful impact. So this kind of leads into my research question of how can strategic social media engagement by NGOs enhance public awareness and participation in environmental transit advocacy? So basically, to solve this question, I completed a social media communications internship with the Seattle Subway Foundation. Basically, I created content for the organization's Instagram and TikTok accounts, um, also to support some of what I was putting out on social media and just to kind of be inspired by public opinions. I formulated a transit usage survey directed towards residents in the greater Seattle area. This received about 121 responses. Um, so basically, as for my results, in correspondence with the survey, first of all, Seattle area residents expressed through both the survey responses, but also some of the social media feedback. They expressed desires for expansions and improvements for the Link Light Rail, such as the fact that many neighborhood locations are far from existing stations. So, as you can see in figure three over here, I kind of put in some examples of comments from Instagram and TikTok posts. I thought there were a lot more than these, obviously, but I thought they kind of reflected a lot of the views of the audience and what people were commenting. So a lot of people were commenting similar things, such as like, I just wish it went in any other direction, but north and south. We are decades behind other cities. Just kind of a lot of different desires that people have. These are a lot of common opinions. And then here's an example of a question from my survey. I wanted to put kind of like um, survey questions out that were a little different from the Sound Transit annual survey. So these are kind of reasons that would make it more likely people would prefer to drive a car rather than take mass transit. So obviously, greater flexibility, reliability, and convenience was a major factor for that. And then as for the marketing aspects and social media strategies aspects, I found that from my research and from my internship that there is significant importance of two-way communication on social media, meaning that consistent interactions between the organization and audience drives engagement and desires for the community to advocate. I also found that a combination of simple, entertaining content and educational content is the most ideal for NGOs and drives the most overall engagement because NGOs are like supposed to be putting out informational stuff, but it also needs to be very like entertaining too. So I found that this combination was very ideal. So as for the significance and like further implications, I found that effective use of social media can strengthen relationships between public transportation companies, NGOs, and uh, community members, contributing to greater outcomes and satisfaction in transit expansion projects and initiatives. So, as social media continues to evolve, it's important for NGOs to continue experimenting with a variety of different social media strategies and also platforms because the main platforms used kind of change and adapt a lot. That even happened during my project. So. As for my acknowledgements, thank you so much to Carl Pauls, my site supervisor, and Erin Gilbert, my faculty advisor, for guidance on my project, and to my family, friends, and Capstone cohort for continuous support.